Her knuckles turned white as she gripped her steering wheel tighter. She held back her tears, hoping her son wouldn't notice how upset she was. The drive from school had never been this unnerving. They weren't even in the house when she asked him about his arm. His eyes were glued to the floor as he rolled up his sleeve. That's when she saw it. Whoever had done this would pay. Tara Chavis had always been a loving mom. She took her time vetting all the schools in Phoenix before landing on Desert Cove Elementary. Caden, her son, was a wonderful and equally sensitive soul. She wanted a place where he would be treated as such, and this school seemed like the best fit. It had suitable-sized classes, and the courses were all learner-centered. Tara thought she'd made a good choice. Glad to have found somewhere her son would feel at home, Tara filled out the school's paperwork and enrolled him. He had a curious mind, and she hoped he'd love Desert Cove Elementary. She had no idea that enrolling Caden in this school would end up with an online controversy and her regretting her decision. Caden swiftly started his classes, and for a full term, everything seemed to be going great. But out of nowhere, things took a sudden turn. Little Caden was an intelligent kid. He'd excelled in his classes and made many friends while in them. He also loved his teachers and couldn't wait to go to school each morning. But then it happened. As she always did in the afternoon, Tara drove to Caden's school and picked him up. But one look at his face and she knew something was off. Was someone bullying him back at school? Her blood started boiling. Getting a hold of herself, she asked Caden about his day. She needed to get to the bottom of this without upsetting him. Caden's voice was devoid of any emotion. It was fine, he answered in a whisper and resumed gazing out his window. Something was definitely off. Tara asked if anything had happened to him at school, but he kept quiet. Seeing he didn't want to discuss the matter, she decided to let it go and discuss it with her husband when they got home. But then she saw the mark on his arm. Tara glanced over, trying to get a better look at the mark. It looked like dirt at first, and Tara hoped it was. But the more she studied it, the more she realized there was more to it. Whatever had soured Caden's mood had a direct tie to the mark on his arm. Tara leaned into her seat, thinking of the best way to approach the situation. Tara's mind raced with suspicions, but she couldn't show Caden that her worry was simmering. She decided to give the road her full attention, knowing she would deal with the issue when they got home. Her knuckles tinged white as she gripped the wheel. She couldn't let her son know what was going on in her mind, but one thing was for sure, whoever did this would pay. When they got home, Caden started toward his room, only for Tara to stop him. She pulled out his favorite chair, asked him to sit, and called his dad. Caden's dad took him in his arms and playfully sat him on the seat. Tara asked him to roll up his sleeve as he had in the car, and when he did, she leaned in to finally have a closer look. I asked him if they gave him a choice, and he said no, the angry mom explained while talking to a reporter. According to Caden, the person just grabbed his wrist and stamped it. His arm was marked in ink, although he hadn't written anything. His dad took a closer look, hoping to decipher the stamp. What he discovered left him speechless. Immediately, her husband took a picture of Caden's arm. He was screaming and crying the entire time, Tara said. He was humiliated, didn't even want me to take a picture of it. There, in thick blue capital letters, were the words lunch money, stamped on her son's arm. But what was the meaning of this, and who had done it? Caden explained that it was the lunch lady. Apparently, she had felt the need to publicly shame them in front of the entire school. The more his parents heard, the angrier they became. The fact that her son felt so embarrassed by the stamp was the most concerning part. Why wouldn't the school send her a reminder via email if her son's account was running low? Angered, they posted this incident online. Was this right? It wasn't long before Tara's post about the stamp exploded online. It quickly racked up hundreds of comments and shares, and most parents were supportive, saying that Tara's anger was completely justified. Like, y'all couldn't send a note? Her friend asked. Y'all couldn't think for 2 seconds about the numerous references of branding someone as a stigma. What kind of twisted person holds a child's arm and applies a big block-lettered stamp in black ink to their little arm? Another user wrote. Most people who saw the post said that the stamp was unacceptable. But what would the school have to say for themselves? Shortly after the post went viral, Tara heard from them. Desert Cove principal Stacy Orest stated that cafeteria staff had never intended to embarrass students with reminder stamps, and that they are always supposed to ask them if they want a stamp or a reminder slip. But that answer wasn't good enough for Tara or the other parents who were on her side. They wanted the reminder stamps gone. The following Monday, after the extensive and prominent backlash manifested all across social media, the school was forced to make an official statement on the matter. Paradise Valley Unified School District spokesperson Becky Kelboss said, "It was never the intention of Desert Cove Elementary School administration and staff to embarrass any student by using the stamp." She continued, "Students were given the choice between a letter or reminder stamp. Going forward, Desert Cove Elementary School will send a letter home notifying parents of low lunch balances." She also told the Phoenix New Times that Desert Cove will discontinue reminder stamps about low lunch money accounts. But this isn't the first time this has happened. There's enough wealth in this world that no child should go hungry, especially in school. To me, this is just wrong. In order to protect the privacy of those depicted, some names, locations, and identifying characteristics have been changed and are products of the author's imagination. Any resemblances to actual events or places or persons, living or dead, are entirely coincidental.